Hi, I'm DJ Sixsmith. You're watching The Sit Down. Marina Mabrey, LA Sparks guard. How are you?
Nice to meet you. Thanks for having me.
You got it. How's everything going?
Great. Just in the off season right now, training and being all over the place and in New York City with you guys right now.
Awesome. Yeah, so what was your first pro season like? Take me through some of the top moments for you.
It was like a roller coaster. I had so many different people helping me out, players, parents, family members, coaches. And I had some great times and some bad times. But overall, I was so grateful to be in the WNBA with the 144 players that they have. It's an honor to be chosen and even make a roster with how competitive it is. So I was really trying to just soak everything in that I could, learn from the best of the best so that as the years go on, I can be one of those players and help the rookies and help the younger people just like they helped me. Yeah,
you put it in perspective. You're one of 144 people, one of the best in the world. Like, that's a huge deal, and it's not going to be great all the time. There's going to be some struggles. So what were some of the toughest moments for year one?
I mean, just being a rookie in a league that's so competitive, they're not going to play a 22-year-old on an experienced veteran team that
some
much.
Grown women out there.
Yeah. So just going from playing 37 minutes a game, you know, being able to essentially do whatever, and then being a rookie and possibly not even entering the game is really takes a shot at your ego for sure. And I feel like you have to kind of look inside and see, is this really what you want, and believe that you still belong there, and be and just really believe in yourself and understand that there's a light at the end of the tunnel if you're able to keep your head, keep your mental focus, and just keep your head down and keep going. So that was hard for me, but once I figured that out, I think it was a lot easier to accept what was going on and understand that I still have a chance to make an impact in the league.
Yeah, I mean, at Notre Dame, you had like the green light as soon as you got past half court, I felt like. You know, it was very free reign in terms of what Muffet allowed you guys to do, right?
Yeah, but we all had to earn it, though. So it's like, sometimes, like, because I was in the green light for so long, I remember that being a freshman, I didn't get to do that right away. I got subbed out. I didn't play as much. I didn't experience not playing at all, but I still experienced a little bit of it that was able to help me understand the big picture.
I gotcha. Yeah. What was most surprising about the first year? I mean, like you said, veteran team, new head coach, being in LA, like there's a lot going on in your life. What was most surprising?
I mean, just having teammates that were so much older than me. Yeah. And like, they don't want to do the things that a 23-year-old wants to do as opposed to a 35-year-old or something like that. So I feel like that was a big shock. And then also just how much time I had. Like, after practice, it's whatever you want to do. So I feel like I was like, all right, now what? So Kalani and I were caught just staring at each other half the time, like, what should we do? Or watch TV, watch shows, but then there's LA, so we got to go around the city and see things, and LA is amazing because they have everything there, so that definitely helped with being able to branch out and find different hobbies.
But you're just used to having your life so structured. You're used to having everything laid out. You're used to having homework that you're dealing with, you know, a whole group of people that you're in a dorm with. It's like, all right, you're 23, you're all by yourself, big old city, go for it, you know?
Yeah. It was unreal with how much time I had.
That's something you definitely don't think about as a pro, but you know, it's just a part of the game.
Yeah.
What was the best memory of getting drafted? What do you remember about that day?
You know, like, your agent will say, hey, this place might take you, this place might take you, but essentially they don't really know. So it's like,
it's a crapshoot.
Just kind of like, LA was just the last place I thought I was going, and so when I got taken to LA, I was like in shock. It was like a whirlwind of like, what's going on? Like, I'm going across the country. I've never been to the West Coast, really. So
it's a huge culture shock.
Yeah, so it was like, wow, like, all right, here I come, LA. I'm from New Jersey. Right. So I thought it was awesome, though, like, to be able to live on the West Coast at 23, not thinking I would ever be in LA, let alone living there and playing for the Sparks, which was always my favorite team when I was growing up.
And playing with Candace Parker and the Aguma K's, and it's like, okay, this is a pretty legit squad here.
Right, and they're all experienced and veterans, and I'm like, I am the rookie from New Jersey.
You're like, yes, I'd love to get some court time. I'd love to fire up some threes, but like, you guys just do your thing, you know?
Yeah.
It's about finding that balance, I'm sure.
Yeah, for sure.
And then the bummer was, like, you guys get to the playoffs, and obviously things did not go the way you wanted.
Yeah.
So what was the toughest part of that whole experience for you guys?
Well, for us as a team, I think it was the problems that we were having, like kind of just like, you know, not setting screens, not executing, not help defense, like just, you know, things that regular teams always go through. They got exposed at the wrong time, and I feel like when we got exposed, then we didn't come back from it well, and then it kind of was just like a snowball effect. But I feel like that wasn't even our team out there, which was so weird, because I was like, what happened? So I feel like it happens to the best of us, though. Like, and I have full confidence that this year would be different, come back and learn from the experience, and try to just improve from last year.
I mean, Connecticut was a really good team.
Yeah,
you know?
yeah, and I think the whole like social media thing, where like people said that they didn't have like all-stars or something. Meanwhile, they had great players, so I'm not really sure why they said that. I think that like really hurt us, because they had so much fire, and like they were so angry that people would say that about them, which rightfully so. I think that they came out playing their best basketball, which was really hard to compete with.
Yeah, I mean, it was kind of an unfortunate situation in terms of timing. It's like you're playing your worst basketball, right? You have this whole social media thing you're mentioning with Connecticut.
Yeah.
Then you have the whole thing with your GM, right? So it was just like a weird time overall to deal with all those things together, right?
Yeah, I mean, I was just kind of there trying to just focus on the basketball aspect.
And this is your first playoff series, too, right?
So, I mean, but overall, like, we had a great season. I learned a lot, like, from a new coach, and with a new coach, a whole new coaching staff, and like new players in there, rookies, trade-ins. I feel like we did a good job for what we were set up with.
Totally.
Yeah.
What did you learn from Derek Fisher this year?
I feel like the one thing that always stuck with me was when I was trying to figure out like how to balance not playing and stuff. He kind of said to me that no matter what, it always comes back around to you, and so you got to be ready for when it comes back around to you, because that's your opportunity. And that kind of stuck with me. So I kept getting back in the gym. I was working on what I needed to work on to be able to impact the game when I get in, as such a young player with such older players around me. So that helped me to understand, like, see the light at the end of the tunnel. Like, it's always going to come back to you at some point. You're going to get a chance. You just need to be able to capitalize that and be ready instead of sitting back and sulking.
I think one of the interesting things about your game is that you have the ability to extend the defense. And, like, in the NBA, this has obviously been going on where there's a lot more three-point shooting. But this was happening in women's basketball for a good couple years beforehand. So how did you transform your game to be like, all right, I can do a little bit of everything, but the three-point ball is something that can really make me a big-time player here?
Yeah. Well, like in college, I only played the two. I was only a scorer. This was like freshman, sophomore, a little bit of junior year, and then we had all those ACL injuries.
Right.
And my coach was like, "You're up. You're the point guard." I'm like, "No, I'm not."
That ain't me.
That's hilarious. No, pick someone else.
Right.
And she was like, "No, you're being the point guard." So I feel like that really forced me to. Not that I didn't handle the ball well, I think it's just a different type of handling the ball when you're at the two. So I had to learn how to get point guard handles. And that was really difficult because I'm so tall for a point guard, and I had like such tiny people guarding me that I was like really struggling to bring the ball up. Yeah. So that was like horrible. And we played Louisville my first game as point guard.
And their defense is just
absolutely
nasty.
Awful. Like that was the worst loss in program history. So I had to get back to the basics. I had to learn how to make inside passes. I had to learn how to get people in certain spots, like playing with such great guards and great posts. Who needs the ball right now? Who do I go to? And playing with Arike, Jackie, Jess, and Bree, they're all great scorers, so I really had to learn the game more and figure out, okay, is it time for Arike right now? Is it time for Jess? Is it time for Jackie? Is it time for Bree? Is it time for me?
Right, that's what I was going to say. You got to think about yourself in here, too.
Yeah, so I think that really extended my game a lot, and it made me learn how to score in different ways besides them passing me the ball, everyone getting out of the way, and setting me a ball screen. So that was really helpful to my game, although I didn't see it at first. And then just obviously working on my three-point shot, just being able to knock it down when it comes back to me. So it really stemmed from my junior year of having to go from point guard to combo guard to point guard.
How long did it take you to feel comfortable playing the point?
It took me until senior year to feel like I was a point guard. I kept on saying every time I messed up, at first I'd be like, I'm not really a point guard, so whatever, like, whatever. And then finally, Coach McGraw helped me realize, like when she was watching film with me and stuff, like, you have no idea how much you could extend your game right now and be so marketable for the WNBA in a way of like, do you need a point guard? Do you need a 2? Do you need a 3?
Yeah, you can do it all.
Because you can guard all 3 positions too. So once I accepted that, I feel like I really started growing more as a point guard.
Yeah, it's about checking your ego and also just shaping your identity to say, hey, I'm more than just a 2, right?
Yeah.
I can play everything here, and what my team needs as well is a big part of that as well. So when you think about your Notre Dame run, I mean, Coach McGraw is one of the best coaches in college basketball. What were the big things you learned from her, and what were the best parts of playing for her?
I feel like everybody that goes to Notre Dame has a sense of like, they know how to play the game correctly and they know how to win. And I feel like that's something that kind of just slides under the carpet. Like, it doesn't really get noticed until you have a player from Notre Dame on your team. And you understand, like, wow, they really know how to win. They know how to compete. They know how to be a teammate. They know how to win their time when it's their time, when it's not their time. Just so many little things that I didn't realize were so important until I got to the league, like how to make a post pass. That's a really underrated skill, and we drilled it all the time at Notre Dame. And then just like, this goes for on and off the court. She made you earn everything, and I feel like that has taken me so far in the league, and I think that might be why I was able to get through this year, knowing that I didn't earn it yet. It's not going to be handed to me, just like when I got to Notre Dame, it wasn't handed to me. And then obviously, last but not least, like, fighting for women's equality in sports. She's always said you need to fight for it or it's never going to last, and just kind of like not like never going to last, but like kind of just in a sense of you need to fight for it or it's not going to change. And her speech at the Final Four like was inspiring to all of us. And then when I came out with the shirt, I feel like I was following in her footsteps. So just learning how to fight from her.
And to be vocal about it too. And like, listen, you're going to deal with crap that comes along the way, but it's like, this is who I am, this is what I believe, and this is what needs to change also. Because it's not fair that things aren't equal. And if you can be a part of that change, then you should stick your neck out there.
Exactly.
So what have been some of the reactions that you've gotten to those shirts, or like this is my kitchen when you're walking into the game, you know, stuff like that?
I mean, when I'm walking into the game, if you're at a WNBA game, I feel like you're probably not going to hate on my shirt.
No, definitely
not. So I got a lot of compliments from that. And
it's a great
people,
shirt.
Like, wanting the shirt and stuff. But yeah, I got some really nasty emails, DMs, snaps, whatever. I really don't care. Like, I didn't even open half of them. But I think they're just intimidated almost.
They
like,
most certainly
why are women becoming powerful? And it's actually a funny thought that women have always been powerful. It's just that people weren't allowing it. And I feel like now that we're speaking out, we're fighting back, we're trying to change trying to reverse what the stereotype is. I feel like it's going to take the game even further. So just being able to be part of fighting for a change, and the shirt being one of them that people can wear, people can, and it's very, very easily understandable.
Totally.
So that was where the idea stemmed from.
I gotcha. And I feel like it was a great year for the WNBA too. Like, there was a lot more coverage. Like, people were talking about it on social a lot more. So what was it like seeing all this happen? Like, given your time at Notre Dame, when you're following along with the WNBA, to actually being in the league and seeing people talk about it mainstream? Yeah.
You know, I felt like this is the first year that WNBA has really gotten press media, like people actually knowing about it, and we haven't even scratched the surface, I don't believe. And last year, I definitely heard more about it last year when I was in college and the year before, but like before my junior year, I really didn't hear much about the WNBA, so it's great that they're fighting for coverage, TV time, things like that. I think one of the days I heard, I think I was in college, there was a 10-year-old baseball game on instead of the WNBA finals. I think it was on ESPN or something. And that was like really what opened my eyes to it. I was like, there's no way. And like we were going through it and clicking on it. I was like, oh no, yep, that's the game.
Ridiculous,
so,
yeah.
So I was determined that when I got to the league, I wanted to make an impact. I didn't want to just be a player in the league and let these things go on. So the shirt was the first thing I could think of, and I plan on expanding it.
I like it. Good deal. So when you think about your run at Notre Dame, I mean, you win a national title, you lose a national championship as well. There was a lot packed in there. What are the biggest things that you take away from your whole time in South Bend?
Yeah, I feel like I went in as like a little girl and I came out as a woman, and a woman that has goals and aspirations. So that was the biggest thing I took from Notre Dame. But I mean, obviously winning the national championship with 7 scholarship players, and everybody else being walk-ons, and I think it was 5 ACL tears in one season.
That was an insane year for you guys.
I feel like it was just that much more satisfying when we won. That everybody put us out. Everybody's like, Notre Dame's not good anymore. They're not going to be good. But we took our players that we were playing with, and we just went with it. And I feel like we formed a chemistry that nobody could stop. And I think people were underestimating us. We'd get down by by 10, 15 points, but it really is because we're tired, because nobody else, we don't want to get a break.
6 players either, yeah.
But once halftime hits, we got a break, and now here we come. So it was I feel like that defined us, and it was one of the best seasons I ever had there. And then senior year, same thing. We came down to it. We were right there. We came down. It was a free throw. We could have made it or missed it. The game could have went either way. So just knowing that we fought back and did everything we could, even though it was one of the most devastating losses of my basketball career, I feel like I grew from that too.
Totally. So what are those goals and aspirations that you mentioned before?
I mean, I just want to be the best player that I can be, what my ability is going to take me to. And knowing that I was part of the generation that took women's basketball from this level to this level of coverage, media, money, anything that you can, to put it up there with the NBA as far as it can get. I feel like I want to be a part of that, and I want to be able to say that one day I was an advocate for women's basketball and women in sports in general.
Totally. So how do you guys take things up a notch in year 2 with the Sparks?
Oh gosh. I feel like maybe, I don't know. I feel like maybe just like keep on trying to form chemistry, and I think the Mystics this year, they had played together for a long time.
Yeah, that continuity is key.
Connecticut maybe? Oh, Connecticut.
Connecticut
played together for a long time. Like, I feel like that kind of has something to do with it.
Yeah, you had it in Notre Dame. Yeah, it's important.
Maybe like just keep on trying to build and build and build, and just support each other, have each other's back. Whatever anybody wants to throw at LA, I feel like everybody wants to throw something at LA, and just kind of overcome it, and just keep on focusing on what we need to focus on as a team, and only focusing on the people in the locker room. That's the biggest thing we need to do.
Good deal. Marina, nice to meet you.
Thanks,
Thanks so much for coming in. That's Marina. I'm DJ. See you next time. You're on The Sit Down.